In 2004, there was a pretty interesting project going on in Tampa. Cruising through Channelside Boulevard and dipping through the port of Tampa and down through Ybor City on its way out to Brandon was a 9-mile reversible highway called the Leroy Selman Crosstown Expressway. It started out as a lesson in the efficiency of the underslung gantry system. And there's not many things in construction as fun as standing on the giant column setting big old straddle bents. But somewhere along the line I turned into a lesson in just how high the chain of command will go. And just how many dominoes will fall when people start cutting corners.
Governor Jeb Bush is weighing in on problems with the Crosstown.
Anybody want to know how to get reporters to start asking the governor of the state and brother of the sitting president questions about the personnel on your job site?
If a road has got that much overrun and those kind of flaws, then it calls into question the management.
And let's just say that there's an act of God on the job site. Better hope it's the good kind, like getting sunshine every single pour day.
Blame the collapse of Pier 97 on a mysterious sinkhole. An act of God, they claimed, impossible to predict.
I don't know what to call it. I don't like to call it an act of God.
It's probably a pretty safe bet to say that the vice president of the second largest civil construction company in North America probably doesn't wake up hoping to answer questions to the news about second patchers on his job sites.
Well, I can tell you that if anything like that happened with our forces and we were aware of it, we would dismiss employees like that, because that's certainly, if that's the case, that's not something we would tolerate.
How about this one? The whistleblower protection blur, where everybody knows exactly who that guy is.
Was sinking. You blew the whistle on it.
Yeah, I guess they just wanted to keep it hush-hush for as long as they can.
He learned his lesson the first time when Pier 97 sank last April. He was right there when it collapsed.
Pieces of concrete fall into the highway.
The entire Crosstown project was immediately ground to a halt.
We have stopped work. We have stopped work because of the special things that have happened at Pier 97. We're erring on the side of caution, and we're stopping.
It is kind of interesting, though, watching people from outside of the industry explain construction physics. Like a reporter telling an inspector why a column cage with a slight twist in it would explain why the earth would open up and swallow the column into the ground.
The steel cage inside was damaged and twisted up.
There's absolutely nothing that would suggest that anything you're asking about had anything to do with this pier falling down. This is a wild goose chase, Mike.
But once the news helicopters get involved and the heads of powerful companies start getting squeezed and governors start pushing back, that's when the dominoes start to fall. As the executive director of the Expressway Authority suddenly saw not only him but his entire organization on the chopping block of the state DOT as it threatened to eliminate the entire Expressway Authority.
Crystal clear, he's losing control. Whatever Pat McHugh does from here on out must first be approved by DOT's structural engineer, William Nickus. As the focus is now on testing the soil around every pier on the project, so it looks like he may be pointing fingers a little bit at the geotechs.
And Expressway officials knew about it. Our review of hundreds of engineering documents and field notes tell the real story. Last year, engineers took a soil sample drilling 80 feet underground. They discovered signs of a sinkhole under the area that would support Pier 98, one pier away from the collapse.
If it shows soft material there, it would be a concern.
Bill McDaniel is the construction manager on the Crosstown project. Records show his engineers reported signs of a sinkhole in their field notes and added reinforcements to Pier 98. But they did nothing to shore up the adjacent piers, including the one that collapsed.
We don't try to make a bridge that's going to collapse. That just wouldn't make sense.
Expressway officials say they did everything possible to keep the crosstown safe. But this report, written in 2001, raises serious questions. Below Pier 106 was full of soft sandy clay. Workers had to dig 147 feet before they hit solid rock. Now look at Pier 98. Experts found layers of clay and soft rock. They finally found solid limestone at 87 feet. Soil expert Jeff Eller says the soft zone around these piers could be a problem. Now they have a different story.
At this point, we're not saying a sinkhole, but we do have an extreme geological condition.
You said sinkhole before, though.
What we first saw and the way it acted initially, and again, we said this many times even before, we're speculating because we aren't geotechs.
Ordered any additional testing. crews went ahead constructing Pier 97 with no additional reinforcements.
Soil engineers failed to sign off on many reports as required. How do I find out if a structural engineer really did sign off on that?
There should be paperwork to that effect.
But we found no paperwork to show engineers had signed off on any key reports. And as you know, the bridge did come down. This report shows what type of concrete was used to build the bridge over I-75. Here's the original, and here's what the Expressway Authority gave us. Someone has altered the information. We presented our findings to the new leadership at the Expressway Authority, and they've promised to do a full investigation. The Expressway Authority has always blamed engineering firm URS for designing faulty foundations. We wanted to hear their side of the story. Senior Vice President Tom Logan came up from Boca Raton, and he promised to speak with us. That way we could let the public know their position. But then suddenly, Expressway officials called for a break, and then they called in their attorney, Steve Anderson.
We can get something a lot more attractive than this.
Anderson told us we had to leave, claiming this meeting involved legal negotiations and was not a public meeting.
No idea that the DOT had funded this project in excess of $150 million.
Bracken is the man state officials called to assess structural damage after a hurricane hits. He hopes taxpayers won't be hit with bailing out the Crosstown. After all, it's one disaster that could have been prevented.
It's disappointing to me, as someone who's done work recently in the Punta Gorda area and more recently in the Pensacola area, to think what those two areas could do with $150 million.
Expressway Authority will have to sell bonds to pay back some of their DOT loans, but financial consultants say all of the construction problems with the Crosstown could result in a lower bond rating, and selling those bonds to investors won't be easy.
Any future bond sale can be used completely for repaying DOT and also for bridge repair.
Expressway officials laid out a financial plan to dig themselves out of this mess, but if the Department of Transportation secretary doesn't buy it, he could dissolve the Expressway Authority altogether and turn the Crosstown into a Florida turnpike.
There's a lot of material in that report that we need to address, both the technical and the financial, and it'll be submitted to him tomorrow.
This whole Crosstown mess is costing big bucks.
You have the overhead costs, which are roughly $11,000 per day.
The cost to fix those foundations has risen from $70 million to $78 million, so a lot more than originally anticipated.
So there's one thing to take away from this episode. It's don't cut corners. There's a bunch of things in construction that turn into folklore. A bunch of wise guys on the job site never believe it. And you know what? This story is one of them. The day the ground opened up and swallowed the whole job site. But the truth is, this game's real. You can start putting people's lives in danger real quick.